The views and opinions expressed on Deliberately Linked are entirely those of the host, who are completely responsible for all show content. These views and opinions are not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure in any way any kind of condition, or to promote any specific lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or personal practice. Nor is the information presented deemed to be accurate or verifiable.
What is up, Deliberately Linked viewers? Lace them up and lock it in, because on today's show, we're going to pose the question of what happens when Pandora's box gets open to paying college athletes.
It's a good topic. And if anybody's listening, don't just discount this right away and say, okay, well, I don't want to hear and talk about sports. Because yes, is obviously that the topic. There's going to be a lot of statistics involved here. But there's also going to be a lot of insight on really how we should be thinking about this. And this really falls all the way down to your children and your peewees. And if you're a current high school athlete or college athlete, stay in tight on this.
Yes.
Because you're going to get an education today.
No doubt. No doubt. But before we get going, Visionary Meals, our sponsor for today. Thank you, Visionary Meals, for sponsoring Deliberately Linked. Guys, we just got to shout out our local paper here for Visionary Meals. We got published in a fantastic article on kind of what the company is about. And from that, we have been getting some amazing feedback. We've been getting some amazing inquiries from really potential customers, maybe like yourself. So thank you. We appreciate the story that was shared from our local paper and really just sharing the message of what Visionary Meals is, what it really is, and really the vision within the vision. And I think our viewers, some of our readers of that article, got a glimpse of where Visionary Meals is going in the future. Yeah,
and it goes back to what we constantly talk about on here. Whatever your goal is, there better be a passion behind it. And if there's a passion, there's going to be a vision. Yep. Because you got to kind of see where you're going. Otherwise, you're just walking aimlessly and running into things. But excitingly, you're coming up in November. It's holiday time.
Yes, it is.
So actually, Visionary Meals is going to be doing some cool stuff with maybe some desserts.
We are. Maybe a Rhines famous dessert that we might be bringing.
So you make an order, and they're free. That part's free.
And that part is free. So speaking of that as well, on the Thanksgiving time, I'm going to give our Deliberately Linked viewers a little sneak peek of what Visionary Meals has planned going into November. So if you are one that loves, obviously, a Thanksgiving meal, I think we all do, but you're just not one that enjoys cooking that much food for that many people. Visionary Meals actually will be offering bulk items for your Thanksgiving meal: sweet potato souffle, your bacon and green beans, you name it, guys. We might be whipping up some special homemade dumplings, whatever it might be. If you're a family that is just, you got 5 Thanksgivings to go to and you're like, I just don't want to cook mine, Visionary Meals is here for you to take that load off your back. So Stay tuned for that. That'll be on our website, visionarymeals.com, under our bulk tab. So you can get your Thanksgiving dinner in bulk.
I'll tell you what, nobody likes doing dishes.
Dishes.
I'll let Visionary Meals do the dishes every day of the week.
You name it. That's right. I love it. Very good.
Good stuff.
All right, Mark. Well, fair play to play act. What is this, man?
I think there's probably a lot of confusion. So we probably need to straighten that out first.
Okay.
Because it's not, I think, what people think is. It's not pay to play.
Yes.
Theoretically, on paper, the universities are not dishing out any cash.
Correct.
Theoretically. It's going to be done through third parties that are, if you're not watching, I'm air quoting, third-party people who are investing into the university.
Right. It's designed basically to allow athletes to profit off their names, images, and their likeness. Through whatever they bring to that university. And obviously, I think we're going to dive into some interesting numbers and facts of what these players do bring to the university.
And I think as a whole, it's not a bad idea.
Right. I would agree with you.
I think the rollout of this idea is very dicey.
It is.
We really got to consider it. Now, today, we're going to specifically be talking a lot about college football because that is the major money market. Mm-hmm. That is where a lot of the money is created. You honestly don't see many people walking around in a boys' baseball or a girls' softball shirt or a tennis uniform or anything like that. And I'm not knocking those people. I'm just saying the reality is the public, this is what they're after.
Yeah.
I mean, college football is the number one sport in the country.
It is, no doubt. There's no question to that. And I think with just probably college basketball being right behind that.
Well, they're the only 2 sports that get full ride across the board.
Okay. Okay. That's
college boys basketball.
College boys, not girls. Okay.
Correct.
Well, even on top of that, so there was a UCLA study that estimates, though this was done a couple years ago, but it estimated that Texas football players are valued at $513,000.
Yeah.
And Duke basketball players are valued at $1,025,000 each.
Yeah.
Each.
Yeah. Well,
So
and that makes
just put
sense
that-
because
put things in perspective.
you're talking about a Texas football team of 100 plus and then
Right.
a Duke basketball team of 15.
Right.
So their value is going to naturally be higher.
No doubt.
I think that where I say when it's dicey, as we talk as a whole, you really have to separate this from your D1s to D2s to NAIAs, D3s, JUCOs, all those. But then where I think it gets dicey, especially in today's environment, where already there's a lot of talk about equality. Okay. And you already see inequality in the way the scholarships are passed out and the way the pie's cut up. And I know that they break that down based upon income,
Right.
where the university is making the most amount of money. And I get that. Okay. So let's not get into that argument because that could be a whole show in itself. We're going to talk in this in generalities.
Yes.
And we're also going to talk in this with the understanding and compassion that all these kids are fantastic athletes.
No doubt.
And they all deserve to be treated equally,
I would agree.
regardless of whether you're on a full scholarship or a partial, or even if you're a walk-on, but you're on the roster.
Well, I think in the big picture too here for I think all of us to remember is these athletes that do go on to play at the next level, which 8.8% of athletes from high school football go to either play D1, D2, D3, NAIA, or JUCO.
That's it.
That's it.
So you're-
8.8%.
So yes, so you're talking currently in the United States of America, there's over 1 million high school football players.
Wow. Yeah.
And less than 9% go play at A level.
Just the
Not
next
even
level.
at what we consider the elite level,
Right.
just A level.
Only 8.8%.
Yeah.
That's a small percentage.
Very, very
compared
small.
to that big of a
Very,
number.
very small.
So I think the thing to remember though with this topic is these athletes that are going on to play at the next level are more than likely going on to play because they love the game that they play.
Well, I can't imagine. I honestly, I cannot imagine anybody, and and as
Right.
well as I do, that's willing to take on that type of responsibility.
Right.
Because we're not talking about just practice. We're not talking about that. You're talking about taking on a full education.
It is, yeah.
As well as all the practice, the games, the travel that come with it.
Yeah, and that's one
So,
of the arguments. It's a
yeah,
job.
Yeah.
It's a job.
It is. It is.
And it's a job theoretically you're not getting a money value return.
Correct. I think that's where the viewpoint
That's where it gets hazy.
is hazy because are you receiving actual cash in hand? No. But are you receiving bennies?
Yeah,
100%.
very much so,
100%.
especially at those D1, D2 levels.
Yeah. Well, and even down to your NAIA. I mean, NAIA can give out scholarships.
Yeah, okay, right.
JUCO can take care of you.
Yep.
Division III is the only place where they can't do it athletically, but I know a lot of Division III schools, as you do, are very good about, if especially you should be academically eligible,
Yep.
taking care of you academically
No
to
doubt.
lighten the burden to entice you to come play for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Good. Yeah. So,
Buddy, we're dealing with some backdoor office stuff today.
right.
I mean, these are those weird, funny meetings with a guy that just looks scary in a car in an alley. That's what we're talking about today.
That's so true. That's so true. And I think another thing that you have two people arguing. You have the NCAA, which is a business.
Oh, absolutely.
They're obviously a business to make money, which I'll just come out and say, there's a lot of things, and I think you would say the same thing that the NCAA does that, we both just disagree with.
I would call them corrupt.
Yeah, very much so. I think
Yeah.
I don't say any, but a lot of large corporations,
Yeah.
to that degree, there's always some corruptness within.
I'm
within that
always
party.
sensitive when I feel like any business or even any activity
Yeah.
reduces human beings to a number.
Right.
And I feel that's what the NCAA does.
Yeah.
I feel that it's never personal. It's all down to numbers, and we put them together and we create these statistics and how much money can we make off these numbers.
For sure.
And so I don't like that.
So really kind of getting into the nitty gritty of this topic, guys, I think really one of the best ways to go about this is naturally, I think pros and cons are just going to come up.
Oh, sure.
And what, I guess, how does it affect not only college football or a college sport? Because I think this is really not just football. This is all college sports
Well,
that
I
we're
think
talking.
this is where it begins.
It does.
And then I think your trouble engulfs everybody.
So just so as you guys, the viewer, understands, this recently, as of now, so October 3rd or whatever it was, of 2019, California's, their governor, they just released basically saying, hey, they signed the act of fair pay to play. So all universities in California are going to have to abide by these standards. And I think it's starting in 2023, I believe, is when the actual enforcement, I think, of this act is going to take place.
And you've already seen some fallout to where, the head of Ohio State has already said that Ohio State will not play any team from California.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, already you've created this horrible, ugly, muddy puddle.
Right. Yeah. But unfortunately or fortunately, depending what side and view you take, there are other schools that are following some Colorado, Florida, Illinois, Kentucky, et cetera. I mean, there's a handful of schools. Fun fact, I'm going to show my political side here on the show. I just thought this was very, very interesting.
I know what you're going to say.
10 out of the 12 states that said they want to sign and agree and move on with this were Democratic representatives.
Not shocking.
Not shocking at all, especially starting in California.
Not shocking.
10 out of the 12. So that's just,
I'm honestly,
take
at this point, still
want.
surprised California is a part of the United States of America. So
I agree. I agree. But Mark, so how do we think this is going to affect not only the school, but the game?
Well, I think that's evident in the products we're already seeing.
I agree.
I think, as you know, my favorite is high school football. I'm a ginormous high school football fan.
Love it.
I love the passion it involves. I love just seeing the pride that these kids take and the pride the community take in it.
Right.
And I think you still see some of that at the college level. I think anybody that goes to a college game or watches a college game, you still have the tailgating. The stadiums are ginormous because they pack them. People are passionate about that localized team.
For sure.
But I think once this goes in and it's set up, and if this is the direction they want to go, I think you'll see far more of an NFL-style product.
Yeah.
I think you'll see the contractual issues. I'm telling you right now, these NFL stadiums are already smaller, and if you go through the list, I mean, most of these NFL stadiums aren't even selling half their tickets. So there's far less passion into the product.
Right.
And then what do you create? You create animosity within your locker room.
Yeah.
That's a problem. We're talking about the ultimate team sport, and you're now potentially damaging that.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And actually, many know the name Tim Tebow. It was actually just on an ESPN show, First Take, and he kind of talked strongly about this. And actually, Lincoln, right now, let's plug that in and let the viewers take a listen to this. Take a listen while you're on the show.
You know, I feel like I have a little credibility and knowledge about this because when I was at the University of Florida, I think my jersey was one of the top selling jerseys around the world. It was like Kobe, LeBron, and then I was right behind them, and I didn't make a dollar from it. But nor did I want to, because I knew going into college what it was all about. I knew going to Florida, my dream school, where I wanted to go, the passion for it, and if I could support my team, support my college, support my university, that's what it's all about. But now we're changing it from us, from my university, from being an alumni where I care, which makes college football and college sports special, to then, okay, it's not about us, it's not about we, it's just about me. And yes, I know we live in a selfish culture where it's all about us, but we're just adding and piling it onto that, where it changes what's special about college football. We turn it into the NFL, where who has the most money, that's where you go. That's why people are more passionate about college sports than they are about NFL. That's why the stadiums are bigger in college than they are in the NFL, because it's about your team. It's about your university. It's about where my family wanted to go. It's about where my grandfather had a dream of seeing Florida win an SEC championship. And you're taking that away so that young kids can earn a dollar. And that's just not where I feel like college football needs to go.
That's fair,
There's that
man.
opportunity in the NFL,
That's
but not
fair.
in college football.
So obviously, Tim, brought up some excellent points.
Yeah.
I think talking about kind of what you were just talking about, Mark, the passion and the love and for the game of the camaraderie, like bringing the towns together, especially at that high school level. There's so much passion and love for the game of football, but really for whatever sport we're talking about here.
Oh, yeah.
And I agree. I'm going to have to agree with Tim's point on this, that there is so much taken away because it is no longer we, it's me, like Tim was saying there, because it becomes all about me.
And that me over we, that isn't just one individual talking. Now you're talking about an individual filled with a locker room of 100 plus people.
Right.
That's a huge issue.
Exactly. And I think we're going to eventually see a lot of stuff that we have seen in the NFL. If money starts getting involved with these athletes, we've seen in the NFL to date players holding out because they're not getting paid enough.
Well, so here's my question. Where does it stop?
Exactly.
So we're going to take, and most of these kids are, and I'm going to use this word, they're going to be poached right out of high school.
Right.
Because you're going to base this on rankings. There's all these systems out there that are going to rank these kids, whether it's 247, whether it's Rivals, they're going to rank these kids. The higher you're ranking, the more likely you're going to get poached.
Yeah.
So then what happens when here's a kid who's ranked at a certain level, whether it's a car lot, a booster, a private clothing company, or whatever, goes into contract with this kid and the kid doesn't produce?
Right.
So then what happens?
Yeah.
Or what happens when you create a contract, the kid goes out there and he's doing amazing because he's an elite athlete, and now he doesn't feel the same worth. He doesn't feel that he's getting his due.
Yeah.
So how's that do? Because theoretically the university's not involved. Right. But who's going to be affected? His team's going to be affected.
For sure.
Because who's to say this kid says, I don't feel like playing this week?
Right, because my boosters didn't take care of me enough, or
where does it end?
I don't feel like my jerseys are getting pushed like they used to get pushed.
Where does it end?
There has to be a line drawn.
What pressure is now going to fall on this head coach or position coach? Because let's say a 3-star kid is out playing the 5-star kid. 3-star kid takes the starting lineup, and the 5-star kid's all over his coach saying, "Hey, I've got this contract. I got to produce."
Yeah.
Whoa. This is hold on, let's use the magic word. This is amateur sports.
Well, not for long. It's supposed to be.
But when you said it and we opened up Pandora's box, that's what this is.
We're opening up a whole can of problems.
I mean, I don't think people understand. And I think even the greater issues here for me, I'm a parent. A couple of my children are just very good athletes. And they're kind of in the middle of this game right now. They're talking to college coaches. They're looking at the coaching or the college landscape. And the first thing that they hear out of my mouth is, you're picking a university. You're not picking a sport. You're not picking a coach.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, I need you to be somewhere where you're happy and where you're happy in your studies.
For sure.
Because the truth is this, making it at the next level, if you get there, that's one thing. Staying at the next level is another thing.
Yeah.
Because by the time you're done playing, we're talking you're in your 30s,
right?
And now we have a whole life to live. Let's get that degree that you're passionate about, that you're interested in. Let's go somewhere. This changes all of that. Yeah, but I can go over so-and-so, and they're going to pay me X amount of dollars. Now, they don't have the degree I want, or they don't have the studies of my interest, but they're going to pay me X amount of dollars.
Yeah.
So now you're going to completely change all of that to make some short-term gain. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. We already struggle with college athletes who don't graduate.
For sure. Well, we're dealing with such a small percentage on those that are gambling that they're confident enough that they're going to go to the next level.
Well, and I don't think they understand that either.
I mean,
I know for a fact our high school students and athletes do not understand the percentage of the next level. I know that for a fact. Yeah. And I would be very, very positive that most of the college athletes do not understand the statistics that come with professional athletes.
Right.
I don't think they do.
I mean, it's like 0.2% that go on to the next
that's
to NFL.
That's making it in the NFL.
That's like now you're making it to a professional sport.
That's population. Only 0.2% even make it to the NFL.
Right.
Period.
Yeah. So
0.2%.
These universities that say maybe they're enforcing, hey, you need to get a degree.
So, think about it like this. Think about it like this. So there's roughly 92,000 college football players.
Okay.
92,000.
Yeah.
Okay. Every year in the draft, they only take 253.
Right.
Only 253.
That's crazy.
Go to the draft. Okay. And really, once you get past like round 4, that's iffy. You even make a practice squad.
Right.
I mean, first rounders and second rounders, maybe your third rounders are going to be guaranteed that first couple of years because they invested in you. After that, you better show them something.
Right.
I mean, and when we think about these star ratings, these kids that are coming out 5-star, 2-star, 3-star, whatever it may be, those percentages are not near what people think.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, not even close what people think. I mean, you got to break this down. So if you're a 5-star kid in high school, so I'm talking to all these high school kids right now that are ranked, and if you're listening, please perk up right now. Out of all the 5-star guys in the United States of America, only 52% of you will even make it to the NFL draft and get drafted. Only half of you.
Of the 5-star.
Of the 5 stars alone.
Okay.
Out of that, only 39% of you are going to make a team. So 3 out of 5, every 5-star kid will not even make an NFL team.
Yeah.
Now, you say, well, what's that have to do with anything? Those are the kids that are going to be getting poached.
For sure. Yep.
Those are going to be the elite list.
Yep.
We're going to hit our 5 stars first. We're going to try to pay these guys, get them into our system, start making some money with them. That's exactly what they're thinking. Okay.
And you pose the question, well, what happens if this guy
And what
doesn't
happens
start?
when it doesn't happen?
And honestly, what's the other question is what's happening to to our walk-on guys that have all this potential? They're getting
That's
pushed
where
to
the
back.
animosity within the group comes. You're going to hurt your product. And okay, now let's move out of the football landscape.
Please, yeah.
Let's move out of the football landscape. Let's talk about our Olympic sports.
Okay.
Let's talk about our Olympic sports.
Because actually, interesting though, I don't know the point you're about to make. Olympic sports, they first were not. They used to be considered amateur,
Correct.
and now they can get paid or professional.
Correct.
However you want to
So
title that.
you move into that world where all those kids, that is the kids in college. That's their goal. They want to become the Olympian
For sure.
Which absolutely, everybody that I know, there's nothing like the pride in the American flag
Right.
and seeing your Olympians, perform for your country.
Yeah.
It's like the highest of the high. What happens to those kids when they're in college?
Right.
Who sticks up for their 5 stars?
Yeah. Okay.
Who promotes them at their car lot?
For sure.
Who's making a T-shirt for them?
Yeah.
That kid's out there doing things, that people have never even heard of.
Right.
You look at Michael Phelps. You never even heard of Michael Phelps till he hit the stand.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Because
But
these guys are putting in just as much time, working just as hard, if not harder.
I would say more.
I mean, these
because
guys are-
most of these kids aren't even living at home.
Right.
I mean, Michael Phelps will tell you about how he had to leave to go live with another family to train with the coach that he needed to get him to the next level. So you're talking about all this hard work, and where's his buck?
Yeah.
All these universities, they have that. They got dive teams, they got swim teams, girls softball teams. Girls softball teams, there's girls on that softball team that are playing, starting on their team, and they don't even get a dime from the university.
Right. Right.
Don't even get a dime.
I don't see a way for it being fair across
There
the board.
is no way to make
Yeah.
it fair. The only way you make it fair, so currently right now, the NCAA pays out $2.9 billion annually to roughly 150,000 student athletes. Okay. That's only at Division I and Division II level. Okay. The only way you do that is you take 2.9 billion, you take 150,000 and you divide it in half. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Divide it out.
Yeah.
Because that's the way it works. If we want to talk about equality, that's how equality works. But everybody's going to make the argument, well, it's football and basketball that bring in all the revenue.
Right.
I understand that. But that doesn't put them to a whole nother level of standard
Yeah.
that these other kids don't work equally as
Yeah.
hard
I mean,
at.
as a country, we're trying to stop segregation, and we're literally just
We're creating more.
we're creating a problem.
We're creating more. And it's already there. Excuse me. It's already there. I mean, I'm not going to name names because I don't want to get anybody in trouble. But we know for a fact at a certain Division I FBS program, we have a friend on the coaching staff.
Yep.
The stories this man will tell you about the benefits these college athletes receive,
Yeah.
it's already night and day compared to the other student athletes.
And I think that's the ultimate argument is these students are already getting paid.
They're living a very
They're literally
plush
getting paid.
life.
Now, sure, I can argue the other side of, okay, these students might be getting full rides. They might be getting benefits, X here. They might have free food. They might get, Johnny Manziel, he used to talk about when he was at A&M, he used to get carted from class to class. I mean, these athletes, they're getting taken care of. But I think the argument is for on the opposite side for these families. I think so. I do think there is an argument for these athletes that do come from high poverty. I've heard a lot of stories of athletes coming from impoverished areas of not knowing their family or bouncing from home to home
Or foster care. I mean, yeah, of course.
whatever it is. But I think the argument to that is you create your future. And their ticket, their payout is here's an education, here's an
the ticket.
opportunity. Now you have a choice to do something with it, and it's totally up to you. If you're going to roll the dice and think you're going to fall into that 0.2% that's going to go on to the next level, at least speaking for the NFL, to make money and not take your education seriously, that was free.
You're crazy.
You're ignorant.
Yeah, you're crazy.
You're ignorant.
And even there's a fun little fact for you. A lot of the Division I programs, even though you leave early, let's say you go into the draft, most of those kids are eligible after 3 years. They leave early.
Yeah.
Most of those D1 programs say your scholarship's still good. So when you want to come back in 5 years, it's still free.
Right.
If you don't take advantage of that, you're nuts.
You're crazy. I mean,
That is your ticket out of wherever you are is the power of the mind.
For sure. Yeah.
That is the ticket.
It is.
Because now you have the know-how how to improve. My biggest problem with that entire argument, when people want to utilize that, and they want to say, well, you know, these kids don't have nothing, they come from nothing, their family's broke, their family's struggling. I am every bit of sympathetic with you. I've worked in those neighborhoods. I know what that's like. I've seen it.
Right.
I have absolutely seen it. But you're talking about sacrificing potential, the amount that you're willing to sacrifice for a very short-term gain.
Right.
That does not help them in the long term.
Correct.
That does not make a generational impact.
Right.
What makes a generational impact is if this child takes advantage of this education, betters himself, and then not only sets the example for the younger generations to do, but he can create a whole new landscape for that family.
Right.
He can do all this with a higher education, not only create it for them, but then know how to protect it for them.
For sure.
I mean, when we talk about that, you say, well, what are you talking about, protect it? 78% of NFL retirees, 78% are either bankrupt or under financial stress after 2 years of retirement. And if you're doing that without a form of education to protect yourself, to help you create another form of revenue, you're in trouble.
There's no going back, oh, hey, I had a scholarship. Can I finish my degree?
And you're still in your 30s.
It doesn't work that way.
You're still in your 30s. You've got years to live.
Right.
And how does that affect the family as a whole? It doesn't.
Well, I've heard the argument so many times, well, you know, these players just want to be able to give back to their family so they can travel to the games and stuff. I agree. That would be nice.
That's already being done, though.
That would be nice. But that, in my opinion, that's on the university.
That's already being done.
That's on the NCAA and the university to make sure these families can travel.
Yeah. And was it Dabo that just said that?
Dabo, yeah.
Dabo just said the senior parents from last year's senior class, they got $17,000 each to travel. That's already being done.
Yeah.
That is already being done. And no offense, I've got 5 kids. If my children go on to play, I'll tell them, hey, I'll watch it on TV. I'll get to the ones I can and the ones I can't. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. By the way, there's 100,000 people in there. You ain't going to see me?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I think there is a level of exploitation.
There is now, I think that's understated. There is a ginormous level of exploitation that occurs, especially when we start talking about these upper echelon college athletes, a ginormous level.
Yeah.
And I think that is probably where this entire argument has stemmed from.
Yeah.
And I get it. I mean, really, if we want to talk about this goes back, I don't know how long it's been, maybe 10 years. Ed O'Bannon from UCLA. He was a very prominent high school or college basketball player. And I think I don't know if his face was on the cover of the video game or is just fact that he was in the video game.
Right.
And that's kind of where all this started. Now, there's also a backstory where he's broke and he's bankrupt, and he obviously, it's not fair. You see them making money off your likeness and you want to make money. I get that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you had opportunities too. It's what you decided not to do with those opportunities.
Yeah. I mean, in a way, especially if you're an athlete getting a full ride, like we've said before, they are paying you for they are paying you a full ride to get a full education to play the sport that you love, and that gives them, you know, maybe the right, maybe it doesn't, however you want to argue it, to sell your jerseys. And my thing is, so a quote from the First Take said the exploitation of college labor is unconstitutional. First off, I think it's a stretch to call it college labor. But all I got for that is don't play the damn game.
Well, okay, here's my thing. Did any of those kids get forced to play?
Exactly. Don't play the damn game if you're going to be over there on the sideline saying, oh my gosh, you're making X dollars off my jersey.
You can't call it unconstitutional if it was voluntary.
Correct.
Number one.
Exactly.
Okay, that's a very ignorant statement.
And my thing to that is, if you really want to keep the system pure, stop selling the freaking jerseys. All right? Stop selling the jerseys for their likeness.
But see, what did they do a couple years ago? So they took all the names off of them, and now they just use the numbers. So, okay, that's pretty crappy. Why don't we just go out and everybody now you can customize your jersey anyways.
Right.
I mean, people customize their jersey left and right. Anybody can do that. Okay. Get over yourself.
Yeah. Seriously.
How about you just be happy that all these people want to wear your jersey? That should be the ultimate compliment.
And in your mind, that you're playing the best damn game that you think exists.
But see, this goes back to for me, the greater problem above and beyond all of this is the mental impact of this on our young individuals.
For sure. Okay, keep going on this. I like
because
this.
We've already put all these professional athletes on this pedestal. And everything that they do is a trickle effect because now our kids see it. Well, if it's cool enough for him, it's cool enough for me.
Right.
And not everything they're doing is something I want my kids emulating. And you already see it too at the high school level when these kids, the way they act on the field, you can watch a Sunday football game and watch that same trash. Okay? That is not how young men should be acting. Okay? We're getting rid of class.
Yep.
We're literally getting rid of the integrity of the game.
Oh yeah. Oh, no doubt.
Okay, it's going away. It's me. It's flash. It's what bling can I wear? What can I look like? How do I look like this? And then you know where the trickle effect really gets down to? How many umpires or referees have been attacked this year alone?
Right.
Tons. We just had one here locally where the guy was almost beaten for separating two kids from fighting on the field.
Really?
That all stems from stuff like this. It's a mindset.
Yep.
You're treating me unfairly. This isn't fair. Well, I'm the best kid, so I should get X, Y, and Z.
Me.
You know, LeBron James is allowed to travel. So when do the rules only become applicable when we decide to? Or if I'm going to apply this rule to you because you're really not well known. But since you're the star, I'm not going to apply this rule to you.
Yeah.
When we all scream for equality, we all scream for fairness, we scream for all those things. Well, when do we actually start doing it?
Mark, there's a reason that the ratings are the highest, again, pertaining to college football as far as people viewing the game, because it is the best game out there. And at least in my opinion, I'm biased obviously to football, but the reason these ratings drop off so much is, from college football to the NFL is for the character, the mindset of the game that completely changes. I mean, the atmosphere from we're not even talking high school. The atmosphere from college football to NFL is literally night and day.
Oh,
it's because now it's money. I mean, don't get me wrong. College football is money for the universities and the NCAA, but the mindset of those players is totally different. And even if you want to break it down to the nitty gritty of the money, these college athletes that do think that they're going to fall into that 0.2% to make it onto the next level, the mindset of their game completely changes. I need to show up every dang day to be the best athlete that I can be because I have bigger and better dreams to play on and continue the game that I love in the NFL. Instead, this mindset, I'm telling you, it's going to change. They're going to be, how can I show out? How can I be that showboater on Saturday morning, Saturday night football, so I can get the boosters, so I can get the sponsors, so I can get people to buy my jersey, do this for me, do that for me. And next thing you know, their game starts to diminish. Their education is not even a little bit there anymore.
Well, why are you worried about your education when you're already getting paid?
Exactly. Yeah.
Why? It becomes a true side effect of this.
Right.
Like if the NCAA and all these people who think they're smarter than what they are, if you really cared, you would find a way to make the education far greater importance.
No doubt.
You would find a way to allow these kids to study the way they need to study, to allow these kids to take all the majors they want to take, to actually live by the bylaws of the university.
Yeah.
And only those who actually qualify get in.
Right.
I'm telling you right now, for all you listening, that doesn't happen.
For sure.
That doesn't happen. If your kid doesn't play sports, you can go look at what the entrance is to get into university, and you can say, that's what's going to be held over your kid's head. They better meet those requirements. I promise you now, go interview some of these guys, get them to be honest. They're going to tell you, if you're really good at a sport, those are flexible.
Right.
That's not how it should be. You're not preparing people to be adults.
Yeah.
You're not. And then you want to give this child, they're still children. We can call them young adults, and that's used flexibly too. It only applies when they want it to apply. When there's an injustice, they're a child. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then when they're doing something really good, now they're a young man or woman.
Right.
No. These are 18-year-old kids who have no idea how to utilize this money.
For sure.
So if you are going to do it, you better not give it to them till the end.
I agree. And I think that was another one of my points is if these players are getting paid, it has to come at the end. It has to. Because the integrity of the game, I think it's going to change if they're getting paid regardless. But if these guys are getting a payout weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, whatever it might be, it's over with. I
think the thing about all this that really rubs me the wrong way, and I have boys and girls, and my daughter has been an athlete since she can walk.
Right.
And I tell everybody, anybody that talks to me, I'll tell you right now, and I'll say it over this entire public platform. My daughter is the most natural, gifted athlete in the house.
For sure.
Hands down.
She's a great athlete.
She's unbelievable. She picks up stuff well, and she's just a crazy competitor. Mm-hmm. But I have watched her entire life get treated second rate because she's a female athlete.
Right.
Her facilities suck. They get the worst practice times. The shared facilities aren't really shared. You got to beg for your time to utilize them.
Right.
Okay. That's what happens. That's exactly what happens. And now we're sitting here talking about these entitled football players, which, by the way, an FBS team has 100 plus, like 114, 119 kids on the team, 85 of which get full ride scholarships.
Right.
Okay.
Wow.
There are 13 to 15 girls on a college FBS team, softball team. Maybe 3 of them get full rides and everybody else splits the pie.
Right.
So these kids are now complaining they're not getting enough.
Right.
When they don't realize too, yeah, we make all this money for the university. You do. The university doesn't just hoard that.
Correct.
Okay. Number one, you have the greatest facilities. Your facilities are off the charts.
Yep.
You have personal physicians, you have neurosurgeons, you have physical therapists, massage therapists,
Best of the best.
the best of everything. And all they're asking you to do is share a little bit of your pie for these other, let's say girls softball, let's say boys baseball, let's say track and field, let's say the golf teams.
Yeah.
Let's say all of those. That's all they're asking you to do, because I'm here to tell you, those kids will not receive anything from this. Nothing.
Right.
And you're already getting a free education. If you're, I want to use Ohio State. If you're going to go to Ohio State on a full ride scholarship, one of those 85 players, the equivalence of that scholarship over a 4-year degree is $88,000. You're already getting that.
Right.
These other individuals, they're paying that. And all they're doing is asking you to pay, and you're telling them it ain't enough.
Right.
That's where I draw a line.
I agree.
And it just really, really bothers me.
And guys, we beat the dead horse, I think, on this topic. But some people might ask, okay, where does this even come from? Where does it start? Again, I think this starts in the home life.
Oh.
It does, because this question never would have even been posed. It never would have been brought up if I think the mindsets in our home lives were different. If parents were instilling into these athletes that it's not about you. All
Correct.
Right? I mean, it's cliche as it is, guys. What happened? That there is no I in team. I mean, this life that we live, guys. I mean, as Christ followers, guys. I mean, we are called to be servants to serve.
Yeah.
Right. And to love those and to help those around us, not to help ourselves.
Well, and to take advantage of a platform.
Correct.
All these guys, you are getting a gift of a platform that millions of people see every week. And right now, the message you're sending is greed.
Is idle me. Idle me. I mean, that's literally, one of the 10 commandments not to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I personally do see both sides.
Oh, I agree with you.
And
I agree with you 100%.
We went into the show, I myself not wanting to be too biased, but personally, guys, speaking from a college athlete, I'm an athlete that is against this, guys. And I might not have been a college athlete that had this huge likeness of a bunch of, I had a bunch of money on my back where, I could have been from it. But I'm a college athlete speaking from experience, speaking from the love of the game. I mean, out of all things, talk about the love of the game, guys. I'm a college athlete that fell into that 8.8% that went to play D3. Talk about minimal to little publicity. Talk about minimal to little likeness. I went on to play Division III football because I love the game. I love the game. I love what it does as a team. As a family. I love what it does mentally, physically, guys. And I'm telling you, that is what we are taking away. You get on to D2, D1. These athletes, they are getting that publicity. They are walking around on campus and everyone's knowing their name. You are special, okay? You are getting your college.
Oh, but by the way, those are God-given abilities.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. You earned it.
I'm not going to say any of them don't work. I know you work your tail off.
Yeah.
But you are genetically gifted by the hand of God.
Amen to that.
To be able to get the results you're getting.
Right, because, I'll say it out here too. I've said it before on this show. I guarantee you I work harder than a lot of those D1 athletes.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm sure I didn't have the God-given abilities. God has blessed me in a lot of ways, and I'm very fortunate for that. But guys, I'm telling you right now, D1, D2, you are walking around as somebody. You are walking around getting paid in more ways than not, guys. So this mindset of me, I need more. I need the universities taking advantage of me, this and that. I just think it's a bunch of BS. And I think we need as a society, as a culture, as the NCAA, as these corporations fighting for both sides of the ball here. I think we need to sit back. I think we need to take a couple steps back and look at the big picture and remember, okay, why do we play this game? You know, why do we put this game on television? Are we putting it on there for money? Which, yes, the answer is always capital to that. But we're putting this game out there because we have athletes that love the game.
But I'm going to tell you this too. You have athletes that love the game. You athletes, anybody that's listening to this, who's like, no, they should be paid. They should be paid. Let me tell you something. You know who's going to pay for that? You, the consumer.
Yeah, that's so true.
Why does it cost $1,000 for a family of 5 to go to an NFL game? Because we got to pay those payrolls. Mm-hmm. You think that's not going to affect the college atmosphere?
Right.
Guys, it's going to trickle effect down to you. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what's going to happen. They do it with everything. It's going to then be paid for by the consumer.
Yep.
And it's going to lose. Eventually, we get to the point where we can't pay enough. Yep. I mean, heck, look at your cable bill. Why do you think your cable bill is so high? Because they've created all these TV contracts and they're paying out billions of dollars in TV contracts.
It's so true.
I mean, we're making decisions that aren't even beginning to be thought out.
Uh-huh.
And then we don't even think about the trickle effect of what does this do with the mentality. Guys, go watch a Pee Wee football game. Wherever you live, go watch a Pee Wee football game. Watch that Pee Wee football game and be like, oh, no. Because you're going to see the coaches acting like idiots. Then you're going to see the players acting like fools. Mm-hmm. And you're going to wonder where they get it. They're emulating all this stuff they see on TV. Yep. So why we don't use this platform to have a positive effect, I have no idea. I don't get it, okay? And it is. It's tracked down by greed.
It is.
That's what it becomes. And we've stopped thinking of our fellow man.
Right.
You know, one of the greatest things to think about is, you know, you don't harbor your neighbor and you love your enemy as you love yourself. Mm-hmm. Guys, those things are gone. Mm-hmm. Unless you're a person of faith and you try to live by your faith, which, just FYI, we're all going to fail at that. Just keep trying. Yep. Please keep trying.
Yep.
But until we get back to that, this stuff's all going to fail. All this is going to do is create more problems. I mean, how old is the saying? Mo money, mo problems. I mean, guys, I was a kid when they were saying that. It's only going to result in this.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
And for you people who are, you know why college football is so great? Because we still live in this blind society that we think college football is actually like fair and nobody does anything dirty.
Right.
Okay. Let me tell you something. The elite kids are already being taken care of.
For sure.
Okay. They're already being taken care of. I know of multiple situations where families just happen to be moved to nicer neighborhoods and have better jobs.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's real. That really, really happens.
That stuff does
happen. We live under the cover of that it doesn't happen. So this is going to taint that.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
And all this is the attempt of these very wealthy individuals to control the product, control the environment. Okay? And now something that was illegal, we can make legal.
Right.
And once again, though, they're doing it at the cost of these student athletes.
Right.
These student athletes think they're winning. You're not. You're losing. You want to talk about modern day slavery and exploitation?
No doubt.
You're walking right into it.
For sure.
Because the minute you accept a buck from these guys, you've now attached yourself to their puppet strings.
Oh, yeah. Because, you think you're signing with this, what are they called? These, not NFL, these agents. So these agents in college.
Sharks.
So you're going to have these agents, guys. They're, Mark said it, guys. They're
Sharks.
taking advantage of you. They can't wait to sign that deal and sell you whatever you want to hear because they're going to get you this much money, guys.
Because they're making 30%.
Yeah, they're going to take you to the cleaners, boy.
And let me tell you something. The minute your value drops, hey, your friendship's over.
Yeah, it's done.
I thought you loved me.
Yeah, no.
I did when I was getting paid.
Right.
That's folks, I'm telling you, this is more detrimental. Get out of the money. This is so more detrimental to the mental psyche of these individuals. Mm-hmm. Like, I get it. They look at this stuff and they want to live this life. Do you know why? Well, because they see it all over Snapchat and Twitter and Instagram, and these guys living large, and they want that now.
Yeah.
They want that now. Well, I'm here to tell you, I would have loved to have played in the NFL. Mm-hmm. I would have loved it. I wasn't good enough. I didn't have those gifts.
Nope.
Find your passion and joy where it belongs.
Right.
But no, we want to try to create it with something that's not. Then it's not life-sustaining. And when it's not life-sustaining, you can't create the wake effect and you can't have a greater impact.
Yeah, you can't.
And we're all called to have an impact. I'm here to tell you, I'll beat this, and I'll beat this.
Yeah.
Every individual is on this earth with a purpose. The minute you are born, God has a purpose for who you are. Mm-hmm. You have to take advantage of that purpose and the platform in which He gives you. Yep. And when you're trying to, follow and chase the flesh and create that, it's always going to fail.
Always.
And even when you feel that you've found success, it's only for a moment.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We're not after for momentary sex. We're after for this long-term effect.
Yeah.
It's just horrible. And the statistics show, guys, this stuff ain't long-term.
No.
It's not long-term.
It's not.
I mean, if you're a high school athlete, know the percentages. 8 0.8% play D1, D2, D3, NAIA, or JUCO, okay? Only 2.6% play D1. So if you're thinking about a college, you better make sure that you're picking the institution.
Right.
And you make sure you're picking your education. And if you are blessed to play a sport there, enjoy it while it lasts.
No doubt.
But that is not your forever plan.
Yeah, no doubt. And I'm going to kind of turn the page here a little bit on something else that, kind of thinking over this show as we've been talking right now, I could hear a lot of people talking right now and be like, man, y'all really skipped over, the privilege aspect of a lot of these, we'll just be blunt and say it, a lot of these white boys coming from, homes with basketball courts in their backyard with this and that.
All the elite training.
And all the elite
Sure.
training, this and that. And then you have, the black community coming from less and are less fortunate, which I'm not going to argue. I think on both sides of the ball, you have that argument very,
Sure.
very well. I kind of got to thinking about a little bit of my experience, and I just, again, want to put something in perspective for you all right? This might be minor, but let me put things in perspective as you're sitting on the sideline saying, hey, I just sold 20 jerseys. I want a percentage of that, okay? I went on, and again, like I said, I played Division III football. You know what I had to do? I had to buy my own socks that I'm supposed to wear on game day. On game day. Okay, you're walking into a locker room on the first day of practice with a locker full of 3 pairs of Nike shoes, all right, with 4-quarter zip jackets, with sweatpants you got 4 pairs of sweatpants, sweatshirts, you name it, all right? I had to buy my game socks that I was required to wear, okay? Talk about privilege, guys. Talk about benefits. I don't want to hear this talk no more. I'm done. It's facts.
I'm pretty sure your parents paid for your helmet too.
They bought my own helmet. Guys,
D3 and had to pay his own helmet.
Like, quit this talk with, man, we're not getting enough. Your education is paid for. Man, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it.
You know what blows me away? Blows me away. There's a certain school here in Ohio, and it's not Ohio State. You drive a little south.
Right.
You go into the equipment room.
Right.
My son came home, and his mouth was still on the floor. Because it's a bunch of swinging doors filled with every piece of swag, shoes, cleats, headbands, warm-ups, whatever you want. Yeah. And they walk in and pick as they choose. Mm-hmm. It's shopping without any type of exchange. Yep. And we talk, I ain't got enough money for a pizza. You're full.
Right. Yeah.
You're full of it.
You are.
You're full of it.
Yeah.
I know you are.
Yeah.
I know some of these college athletes, and I understand. I'm friends with a lot of guys who played D1, and some of which who went in the NFL, and I know some of them right now are annihilating me for having this opinion. I love them. I love the athletes. They know this, and this comes from a good place. I'm telling you, the reason I take this stand is, and I know these guys that I'm talking about right now, you yourself are thinking the betterment of the individual. This isn't it.
Right.
This is not how you do it.
Right.
This right here only is going to create more separation, more inequality, and more problems.
It's a fact, man.
We already live in a country where our leadership creates it, local government creates it, and now we're about to imply now our universities, please create more of a problem. This is not the way to go about it.
I agree. It's too bad. We're gonna tarnish one of the greatest games out there.
Oh, we're losing it.
Yeah,
we're losing it. Yeah.
I mean, I've heard people predict, years ago and X years, there will be no college football.
I just heard the other day, in 10 years, football will look nothing like it looks now.
Yeah, it'll die just like it did, for the most part for boxing or something like that.
Yep. Which blows my mind because boxing has died down, but yet we let guys kick each other in the head. It's weird. I don't get it. But yeah. I mean, it's really, really sad that it's become, this greed filled thing. And I'll tell you what, I don't put the onus of the greed strictly on the athlete. I actually put a greater onus of the greed on entities like the NCAA.
I agree.
And on these boosters and on these university presidents. Mm-hmm. That is where the greed has started. That's where it was created. And now what it is you've created this monster, and your trickle effect was a negative one.
Yeah.
And now you're getting that negative back.
Right.
And that's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Young people do not create this stuff. They function on what they see.
Yes.
Okay. That's why they're called moldable minds. Mm-hmm. You've molded it into what it is now, and now you got to try to figure it out. And right now, the way you're trying to figure it out is only going to make it worse.
Yeah. We got to be better.
Yeah. Be best.
Now, there is one positive that I think that would come from this. The game NCAA will come back.
For all I don't know. I'm not a gamer.
For all the fans out there, guys, that game will come back. So I guess that would be the one pro that I could argue on this.
That was the greatest game when I was a kid.
That was epic. It was a great game, and it's been gone for a few years now.
Quite a few years.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's just it's a sad environment, and we just make these poor choices. I think just make things worse, and it's unfortunate. And I hate seeing it affect the purity of things.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree.
And it just bothers me.
No, the game will, no doubt, it will change tremendously. It won't be the same game.
No.
I mean, it won't be amateur football. It won't be amateur sports. It won't be. It will be. We have. It used to be. Watch your, at least pertaining again to football. Watch your professional game on Sunday or Monday or Thursday. Now it's watch your professional stuff on Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, Thursday.
Here's something that I think too, and I don't want to be disrespectful to anybody, but you college athletes have to understand something. We're talking strictly college. Mm-hmm. You're there for 3 to 4 years, 3 to 5 years, whether you redshirt or not.
Yeah.
Before you get there, that fan base is million strong.
Right.
Okay. They're wearing every jersey under the sun. They have all the gear.
Yeah.
When you leave, that fan base is still there.
For
So
sure.
as much as you think that that's about you, it's not.
That's such a good point, Mark.
Okay. It's not.
That's
because,
such a good point.
People have been lifelong fans, families, generations of these universities. And as much as they appreciate the effort you give them, that fandom will continue once you're gone.
Yep.
So I understand that you think your value is above the university. The reality is the value is the university.
That's correct. That's a good point.
So if you'd have chosen somewhere else, those same fans would have still been there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, but think about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And all this aside, guys, I definitely don't want to pull every college athlete or every university with this
Sure.
mindset, because I know they're not. And so for those athletes that are not thinking this way, our hats are obviously off to you guys. And we understand.
Oh, I know it's not all of them. I know it's not.
I don't even know if it's be 50-50. I don't know what the percentage would be.
I mean, I know there's a lot of guys out there that are so thankful their goal. That's why you see them crying on signing day, because they do come from a lower income family.
Right.
And now they've signed a piece of paper that says, we're going to pay for your college education.
This is an opportunity of a lifetime.
They know that and they appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm giving you on average $90,000 for a 4-year degree.
Right.
And if you're a private school, which there's a lot of them out there, that's $120,000.
Right, on average.
Thank you.
It's a lot.
You're
of money.
going to better me. You're going to better my children, my parents, my family, my nieces. You can do guys, education knows no bounds.
Well, a lot of these
Eventually
athletes,
money runs out.
a lot of these athletes are getting that check wrote for X dollars for a 4X year degree, whatever it might be. And they're the first generation to go to college.
100%.
So talk about an opportunity that you've just been given to set the standard for the generations to come.
That's what we're all supposed to do. Yeah.
So,
No, fantastic. Hey, so if you enjoyed today's show, it's brought to you strictly by one man, and it isn't Josh and it ain't me. His name is Lincoln Meikle, Tip Hat Media.
That's it.
I say it all the time. The guy is a mad genius when it comes to production, cameras, video work, any of the special effects you see here behind us throughout the show. That is all him. He's got such a creative mind. Here is an individual who I know went through high school and probably looked at college athletes and said, I'd love to be able to do some of the things I'm seeing.
For sure.
But the reality is, his passion and his platform was created with this, his creative bounds of cameras and video, his drone work.
Yeah.
And he brings that all to you for a service.
Talk about a 5-star videographer or,
Yeah.
content creator, whatever you might want to call it.
I mean, yeah, if you put this guy in one of those Rivals or 247 Sports, he's the elite and he's a first-round draft pick.
No doubt.
Okay? He's the guy you're going to trade for. And he wants to bring all that to you. So if you're any form of a company, it doesn't matter if you're in the food industry, building industry, real estate, this guy can get your company on the map, and he can really take your vision and make it pop.
Yes. Yeah.
And
For sure.
I think the thing we say on here all the time is about being relatable. Lincoln makes your business relatable. Right. How big or how small you are, he has a knack of making your business come to life. Yeah. And really showing people your strengths and doing it in such a creative way. Yeah. So we're very fortunate to work with Tip Hat Media, tiphatmedia.com. You can find him on the gram at Tip Hat Media. And just really check him out. Give the guy a call. I know he's just getting flooded with work right now. But once again, his other superpower is he finds a way to make time for everybody.
He does, and he was just telling me he's really swamped right now,
Yeah.
guys. But like Mark said, guys, he will find the time for you, just because he is that type of that entrepreneur, that business owner that cares about you. He cares about your product. We have seen that firsthand. You guys get to experience that as well. I experienced that with my other businesses. The best of the best, guys. We will continue to say it. I mean, for as long as this show
We would
goes.
not be near as successful without Lincoln.
For sure.
That's the truth.
No doubt. No doubt. I mean,
And I'm excited to tell you too. We have another sponsor that's coming to us very, very soon. The minute he gets some information to Lincoln, and we can do it right. So we'll be launching another sponsor for the show, and we're very excited about having them join us. It's some people that we've had. I know personally, I've had the opportunity to work with. Just an amazing company, good group of men. And we're really excited about bringing them on board.
We are, because we've said it before in the show, guys. We don't just bring on and welcome anybody.
No.
These companies that we've talked about and bring onto our show, they have to reach a standard that we hold ourselves to.
Well, and the truth is they're a reflection of us.
They are,
and we want to make sure we all carry the same values.
Correct.
And these companies, Visionary Meals with Josh and Tip Hat Media with Lincoln, I will stand by them anywhere,
No doubt.
on
For
any
sure.
platform. And this new company that's coming in,
Stay tuned, guys.
I would gladly stand by them on any platform as well.
Their product's amazing. I'm excited. I don't want to get to it too fast, but I'm excited to talk about them, guys, because I've heard amazing things, and I can't wait to just experience a little bit more of it.
So it's good stuff. Good things are happening here on Deliberately Linked.
No doubt.
We always appreciate your content. We appreciate any type of criticism. We ourselves are constantly trying to improve, and we want to improve with you because we want to bring you the best show we can.
For sure. Yeah, that's very good, guys. Hey, I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. Just a quick reminder, we again are on Instagram, Twitter. Shoot us a quick follow. If you would like to listen or view our podcast, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and of course iTunes, guys.
YouTube.
Or YouTube. Excuse me, did I say one twice? Yeah.
Yeah, so if you want to see these ugly faces, go to YouTube.
Yeah. I don't recommend
Listening's
that.
easier.
Yeah, listening is easier. But again, the content that Lincoln puts together is great on YouTube. So check it out if you're at home. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. Deliberately Linked. We will be back next week. So don't miss out on that. And again, hit that subscribe button on whatever platform you're on so you are notified when our episode releases. So thanks again, guys. Deliberately Linked signing out.
See you next time.